few years ago I did a video using Loopcloud, or showing Loopcloud as a sample library manager, but I didn't talk about how to use it within a DAW. And also my microphone levels are really quiet, really tinny, so hopefully I'm a bit clearer today and I can talk about using Loopcloud within Cubase, which is my DAW of choice. So first up, I have Loopcloud installed as a VST instrument, VST3. I've already got Cubase installed. Now when I open Cubase and look through my VSTs, I'll find Serum, Contact and Loopcloud. And if we look at the bottom right hand corner, it says connected to DAW, but it doesn't say what DAW, and in fact it's not synced up at all. So I'm just going to add an instrument, which is what I do in Cubase. You can do it in your DAW however you choose. And I've got Loopcloud selected. When I add a track, what it does in the bottom right hand corner, it now says connected to Steinberg. I assume that if you were using Ableton, it would say connected to Ableton. What this now does is it syncs up the project, which is at 140 BPM, with all the samples that I audition. You can also select the key within Loopcloud as well, so I'm working in G sharp minor, so all samples will now be at 140 BPM, and they'll also, if they've got a key assigned to the sample, it will also be hopefully in G sharp minor if it's been labeled correctly. So I have a quick electric piano loop here, which I selected earlier, Blue Peter style. And I'm just very quickly going to find some drum samples just to show you about how quickly we can audition and just drag in those new samples. So I'm looking for a 4 to the floor kick, so like in a style of house. I already know I like this one, and you can also select, there's patterns. So if I select a 4x4 kick, it will give me 4 kicks as a sample, a loop, which I can then export and just drag into my project. I can adjust the volume in Loopcloud, that's one way, but I like to do it within the DAW. So once my volume's set, I can then look for a clap. So scroll through my samples. These are my own samples. I think it's about £60 for a year's subscription, and that gives you so many credits. You can buy samples using credits. A lot of one shot hits and samples and stuff will be maybe 2 credits. Vocals sometimes can be quite expensive, maybe 8 credits, 16 credits. So you can use the credits from your subscription to buy new samples, or you can take your existing sample library on your hard drive and import that, and it will also detect if it's been categorized. It will also detect what it is, what tempo, speed, key, all this kind of stuff. So I've got my own samples here. I've got some tech house. Just going to quickly look at the claps. And I'm going to change this pattern now. Change this pattern to simple snare. Now I've got a clap on the 2 and the 4. So I can export that now and drag that in. Set my volumes, and let's have a hi-hat. So I'll do offbeat. So just skipping through, auditioning these sounds. So quick and easy, I can find the right sound for this project. We'll go with this one just for time. So process. And perhaps next I'd like a loop just for some energy, so I'm going to look for a hi-hat. I think I've got some hi-hats that are a little bit faster. Drag that in, the procedure's the same. So I've got the basis, I've got the drums, I've got the organ there. So now we're going to go into their very own library, and this may backfire somewhat, but we're going to look for a female, and we're just going to see. I've selected G sharp minor, so all these samples should in theory be in key. P.S. they're not all good.
Void, all things converge. Free. Desires running wild, it's you and me. If our bodies could touch again. That life is nice. For this I give thanks. For this.
All the way out, baby. All I gotta say is all the way out, baby.
So if you're finding this a painful watch, it really is a painful process, because a lot of the samples on there, I think personally they could be better. I think they're not necessarily the best samples that I would want in a track. So maybe there's a gap in the market for someone that can do some decent vocals or decent sample packs. But yeah, I just find this incredibly painful. So I think I'm going to leave it there for now, because we're not going to find a good vocal. It's going to take a long time, and I'm sure you don't want to sit here watching me listen to atrocious samples. If you can find a good vocal, it's like a needle in a haystack. I think if we were to look for other things, it would be a bit easier. Just to quickly show you, I think if we were to look for a guitar, for example, and I mean, let's have a look, maybe an electric guitar. Ideally I'd like something sort of funk based maybe, but we'll see what electric comes up with. So we'll try some of these very quickly. So yeah, you could be here all day doing this. You don't need me to show you how painful it is. I hope this has helped. If you have any questions or whatever, just drop me a comment, drop me a subscribe. I need some followers. And of course, like the video. It helps very much. Thank you.